It was one of those freezing winter evenings in downtown Chicago, where the cold seems to seep into your bones no matter how many layers you wear. Michael Brooks, a 32-year-old software developer, was making his usual walk to the train station after another long, stressful day at work. His thoughts were weighed down by overdue bills, missed deadlines, and the overwhelming feeling that his life was stuck in a loop. As he passed through a small city park, he noticed something that made him stop: a young man sitting on a bench, visibly shivering. The stranger wore nothing but a thin, worn-out hoodie, his hands tucked under his arms in a desperate attempt to stay warm. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days, and his lips had turned a frightening shade of blue. Most people passed him by without a second glance, but something about the scene struck Michael deeply. Without hesitating, and before his own doubts could creep in, Michael pulled off his heavy wool jacket and gently draped it over the man's shoulders. The stranger flinched at first, then looked up at Michael with wide, glassy eyes. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice barely audible through the cold. Michael simply nodded and walked away, teeth chattering as the icy wind cut through his now thin sweater. He didn't expect anything in return. He didn't even think the moment would matter beyond that night. The next morning, Michael woke up and checked his phone as usual, only to find his notifications flooded. Emails, texts, and social media alerts buzzed non-stop. A video had gone viral overnight, grainy footage showing Michael giving his jacket to the homeless man. It had been filmed by a stranger across the street and posted with a caption about everyday heroes. By the time Michael arrived at work, his co-workers were congratulating him, strangers were messaging him with praise, and news outlets were asking for interviews. Still processing the surreal turn of events, Michael was even more stunned when a sharply dressed woman walked into his office later that day. She introduced herself as Claire Reynolds from a humanitarian foundation and explained that the man Michael had helped, Aaron Wells, wasn't just any homeless individual. Aaron had once been a successful tech entrepreneur who stepped away from his fortune to understand homelessness firsthand, choosing to live on the streets anonymously for a year. Claire explained that Aaron had been deeply moved by Michael's spontaneous kindness and had decided to return to his philanthropic efforts. He wanted Michael to join his team, offering him a full-time role to help lead a new initiative combining tech and social good. Michael sat in stunned silence, trying to process how one small act had rippled into something so profound. Just 24 hours ago, he had been worried about how he'd make rent. Now, he was being offered a new beginning, one built not on qualifications or networking, but on compassion. That evening, he sat quietly at his kitchen table, still jacketless but somehow warmer than he'd felt in a long time. His phone buzzed with messages from people around the world who had seen the video and wanted to thank him for reminding them that kindness still exists. He thought of Aaron, of the brief moment their eyes met, and how a simple gesture had sparked something far greater than he could have imagined. Michael realized then that even the smallest act of kindness could have a life-changing impact, not just on the one who receives it, but also on the one who gives it. In a world that often feels cold and indifferent, a little warmth can go a very long way.